festivities, and the second part would be the evaluation part. For the first, I would like to invite Ben to provide us with word of the day. Ben, go ahead.
Okay, let me share my screen now. Okay, not this one. Not this one. So this is word of the day today. I think this is related to the scene today. And so the word of the day is equilibrium, and it means state in which opposing forces or influences are balanced. So you can, there are three meanings basically, and you can use as a physical balance. For example, I stumbled over a rock and recovered my equilibrium. And you can also use it as state of mind. I practice meditation every morning to keep equilibrium of mind. And you can also use any conditions regarding balance. For example, market has reached equilibrium when the supply of goods matches demand. So I would encourage you as much as you can to incorporate your speech today. And so when you use the word equilibrium, we will wave hands, give you some credit. Okay, go back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Ben. Well, at the beginning of the thing, I did not have the equilibrium because I did provide the safety. I apologize from the floor because that's the floor culture to start any meeting with safety and environment. So I'm going to provide that now. One of the things that we are doing these days, and there is a lot of controversies, is wearing a mask. And I know that we are mandated to wear the mask, and it's one of the benefits and many benefits that wearing the mask has in terms of stopping the spread of the virus. However, it has its own side effects as well. So I'm going to provide with one of the side effects that we may face with wearing the mask, and that's when we are breathing after the first breath, when we are exhaling, some of the CO2 that we are releasing may stay in the mask, and as a result of inhaling, we may take some of that CO2 in our body. And I received a clip from one of the doctors that was explaining about the CO2, what it does to the body, and that makes the body and the blood pH acidic. And this CO2 creates a condition which is called acidosis in our body. So what she was suggesting to do is to, I'm going to put some of the benefits of that. And one of the things that she was suggesting is that when you have a time to take your mask off, first of all, it's good for your skin that once in a while, when you're alone and you're not socializing, to take your mask off, especially in a open area, that you allow your skin breathe and try to allow it to, that it doesn't create any acne. Second, what she was suggesting was that do an abdominal deep breathing, which means that you, when you're inhaling, fill your stomach to the point that it's completely full, and then exhale completely, that you feel your stomach muscles contract. And this abdominal breathing must be deep. You can do it 3 times a day, 20 times each time. And that helps your heart rate. It regulates your blood pressure, and it creates a very good improvement in your core muscles. It allows to get rid of the acidity of the body, which creates reduces your immune system. Therefore, the breathing and oxygenating your bloodstream helps you to increase your immune system. Having said that, we are going to the next section, which is our joke master. Shore, I don't know if you are here yet. I don't see her. But if we don't have Shore, I'm going to say the joke as well. And you know, when you have a father and when you get married, father-in-law. When you have mother, become mother-in-law, becomes brother-in-law, sister becomes sister-in-law. And now you tell me, your wife, what she becomes. She is the law. Now, having said, I would like to invite Matt, our Toastmaster, to take over the meeting.
Thank you very much. That's a great joke and certainly something that I relate to very well. Great topic today, Labor Day. And I think when I thought about that theme, Labor Day, it's about equilibrium, as is the word of the day. And it's about that finding balance and time to relax a little bit if you work exceedingly hard. But the thing about Labor Day is there's also equilibrium with respect to who gets it and who doesn't. And if you're an essential worker or if you're a sports player having to play sports on Labor Day so everybody else can relax at home and watch it, you don't get Labor Day, but you can make it up at another time. So I think it's very important to recognize the hard workers, but also to recognize that not everybody gets Labor Day on that specific day, and to make sure that you're not overextending and giving people a hard time saying, well, you don't get Labor Day, why should they get Labor Day, that type of scenario. So certainly Labor Day is a great holiday. We just need to take time to find the balance, the equilibrium in our lives. We've got a great meeting planned today. We've got 2 speakers, which is fantastic, but we're going to start off today with our table topics. And our table topics master today is Helen Sheng. And Helen's been a member of our club for quite a while now. I've been very impressed with the progress that Helen's made over the last period. And I'm really excited to see her engaging in every leadership role that she can when she's not speaking. Therefore, please welcome our Table Topics Master today, Helen Sheng.
Thank you, Matt. Hello, everyone. So we will start our most enthusiasm part for our regular meeting. The table topic purpose is to give a chance for 1 to 2 minutes speech for the member or our honored guest who hadn't taken any role for today's meeting. And traditional intent to encourage people organize their thought quickly and respond in proper question or topic. So today we have 3 methods to get a chance for you to take the table topic. First, you can put your mouse icon on your participant, and there show a window list all the participants, and you name beside your name there's a small palm. If you click on it, then our chairperson or Toastmaster will say you would like to take this table topic. Or but I won't be able to say that. There another way is you just I suggest all the people turn on your video on this part, so that when you want to take the table topic, just wave hands, keep waving until we call your name or call other people's name to take the table topic. Or most direct way, the third way is unmute yourself and directly say, I want to take this topic. So let's go start our most passion part. I would like to share my screen here. Can everybody see my screen?
Not yet, Helen.
No.
Oh, let me do again. Share the screen. Now, can you see my screen? Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So our table topic today is Labor Day has its origin, which to celebrate the resolution for adoption of 8 hours day. That happened more than a century ago. Nowadays in Canada, more people think that the Labor Day is an official end of summer. So my first question is, in your opinion, what is the best way to celebrate or commemorate Labor Day? Who want to take this topic?
I'll do it, Helen.
Is that right, Ruby, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, please, go.
Oops, too much light, just 1 second. Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. Members of the Fluor Communicators Club. The question today presented to me is, what is the best way to celebrate or commemorate Labor Day? I actually have a very great story based on a movie that I watched very recently. On Sunday, I watched a movie, The Current War. This is an adaptation of the war between, not a real war, but the race to figure out AC or DC current between the one and only Thomas Edison and Westinghouse George Weston. And in this movie adaptation, there is a point that strikes chord with this topic today. At a point, George Westinghouse says to somebody, a member of his organization, well, Edison is saying that you don't want, Edison is your name saying that you don't want the 8 hours, the 8-hour workday. And I was like, so these guys actually worked on Saturday and Sunday in 1877? Our industries in the industrialized world were built on the back of people who worked all 7 days, more than 8 hours. I reiterate this is because 200 years have passed since although hundreds of years has passed in 1877. These days, we take Labor Day as a day of leisure. It's to freak out. It's to have a long weekend, go for camping, go for hiking. But it actually meant that those before us who work hard jobs, working in factories, working to put lights, working to help the electric utility actually had to work 7 days a week, more than 8 hours. So it's a realization, I believe, the best way we can celebrate is acknowledging all those people who work so many hard hours to build our infrastructure and be thankful of their service. To you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you very much, Ruby. So we'll go into our next question. My next question, if you are a president or you can set up the law, will you set up a holiday for Labor Day and why? Who want to take this table topic? Please keep your screen on and I will see you wave your hands, or you can use the right hand on your participant list, or you can unmute yourself, just direct say, I want to take it.
I'll take it, Helen. It's Marcy here.
Hello, Marcy. Thank you, please.
Madam Table Topics Master and fellow Toastmasters. If I were president, it would be a very challenging position. And with regards to setting up and responding to the petition to have a holiday for Labor Day, I would endorse this holiday. I believe that a lot of effort has gone forward over the years with the laborers, and they need to be acknowledged with regards to the work that they do. Over the last few months, we've discovered the importance of frontline workers. These are our laborers. These are the people that keep our society humming, and they need to be acknowledged. Taking a holiday, it would be wonderful if they were able to take the holiday that day. However, many of them need to continue in their role so that we as a society will continue to function. Therefore, as president, I endorse a holiday for Labor Day. Madam Table Topics Master.
Very good speech. Thank you, Marcy.
I think timing has got past us, Helen. If we're
Okay.
on schedule.
Yeah, sorry. Maybe I didn't see any others raise up hand on the screen. So, but don't mind of me. Keep your passion and enthusiasm for next meeting. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Helen. There's great topics there, and I think the answers were very good. It certainly made us think. Do you mind removing the PowerPoint, Helen, from the screen?
Yes. I want to just. How can I?
You're still sharing the screen.
How can I?
Stop sharing. Top.
Yeah. I just can't.
Thank you.
No?
Oh, you. You're sharing again. So click on the stop sharing again. That's it, and we'll be there. The green one to the left is stop sharing. Orange one, sorry, the orange one. Yes. No, you're still sharing.
Oh, here we go.
Excellent. Thank you very much. We continue to get challenged by the technical side of this, and I think we're all learning and growing. And every time someone has a little glitch, I think it just helps us all hone in our own skills. So thank you for that, Helen. Great topic. We're going to move on to our formal part of our meeting today, which is our two speeches. And our first speaker today is Isabella Parangi. And when I spoke to Isabella about her thoughts on the theme today, she said we should definitely take off Labor Day. It's one of the special holidays because it's dedicated to all the hard-working workers, and it's an additional day off, so why not? Her speech today is about cultural background, but today Isabella is giving us a speech which is titled her presentation mastery pathway, and it's the level 1 speech number 3, which is evaluation and feedback. Can we please have Isabella's evaluator give us the objectives for Isabella's speech?
Hey Matt, I don't think Shori is here, but I was talking to her last night and I sent her all my evaluation form and I thought she's attending. I'm not sure if she had an emergency today.
Okay, do we have a volunteer for Isabella's speech to be an evaluator? Masood?
I'll evaluate her.
Okay, thank you, Masood. Do you have the objectives?
Thank you, Masood.
I have, yes, I downloaded the form while we were doing the table topics. If you don't mind, we'll just read it from the screen. So this is, as you mentioned, presentation mastery. It's the level 1 and the second speech of the feedback and evaluation. The purpose of this project is for Isabel to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to a second speech, which is this one. Purpose of this speech is for Isabella to demonstrate that she has applied the feedback received from her first speech. And the timing is 5 to 7 minutes. Back to you, Matt.
Thank you very much, Masood. If you're ready, please welcome Isabella Parangui, Filipino Culture. Filipino Culture, Isabella Parangui.
Sorry, everyone. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah, we get you, Isabella.
Yes, we can.
Perfect.
Perfect. Hi, everyone. I will give a quick recap of what I talked about previously in my last speech. Number 1, Filipinos are religious. Number 2, Filipinos love to eat. Number 3, Filipinos are very respectful. Number 4, Filipinos love Christmas, and we have the longest Christmas celebration ever. To be honest, my mom is starting to decorate our house with Christmas decorations, and she has also started playing Christmas songs. And lastly, Filipinos sometimes have the inability to say no. Today, I will talk about my cultural background. Filipinos are family-oriented. We are known for having strong and close family ties. We put importance on our family before anything else, and sometimes, despite inconveniences, many Filipinos are often willing to go the extra mile if it means providing for their families. Filipino also treat everyone as a family. I feel like everyone is related to someone. If you know a Filipino or have been to a Filipino party, everyone addresses the elders or parents as tito or tita, which means uncle or aunt, or sometimes use ate or kuya, which means an older sister or an older brother. We are just so close to our families. And also, one of the Filipino traditions is sometimes their children, even though they become an adult, the children are still staying in their parents' house until they get married. It does not mean that the children are incapable of living independently. That's just how it is, and it's pretty common for Filipinos. In the Philippines, natural disasters are common. Earthquake, storm, flood, you name it. But despite all this, Filipinos are very resilient. In times of calamities and catastrophes, Filipinos always manage to rise above the challenges. Sometimes, if you watch news in the Philippines, you can see Filipinos still smiling and laughing after the disaster. Filipinos are very strong and they are optimistic. We always find a way to smile and be happy. Filipinos are empathetic and helpful. I was taught in an early age that it is important to help other people and understand and just share each other's feelings. These are the values that you can see in most Filipinos. We are always happy to help and we don't expect anything in return. There are times that we might not be able to help or sometimes we might not be able to help, but Filipinos will try to find a way to help someone or find someone who can help them. Since Filipinos are very religious, they will also say that they will pray for them. This picture shows how all Filipinos just tried to help a family to move their house. I have never seen this before because I live in the city, but this is such an interesting picture, and this picture shows how Filipinos are helpful. Filipinos love celebrations and festivities. One of the most popular forms of celebration in the Philippines is through fiestas. There are about 100 different fiestas and festivals celebrated in the Philippines. Every year, every town, every city, every province honors different patron saints, which means every fiesta celebration is unique and distinct. But if there's one thing in common amongst all of them, it would be probably the extravagance of it all. Every household is busy preparing for the fiesta, may it be in terms of food, decoration, or of course, invitation of guests. Lastly, Filipinos are hospitable. They will welcome you with an open arms. Filipino hospitality goes beyond the friendly treatment of guests or a warm welcome into their home. It is Filipinos welcoming you to their family. In other words, Filipino hospitality means becoming a part of the Filipino family. To us, being hospitable is giving more than your best to make any guest feel at home as much as possible. Filipino hospitality is about belonging. They will always make you feel like you belong. I am not being biased, but Filipinos are one of the nicest people I know. Mr. Toastmaster?
Thank you very much, Isabella. Certainly, having been to the Philippines before, I can vouch for everything you're saying. But I would say that there's finding that equilibrium between work and play, and I think you've got it very much right in how you celebrate. So that's fantastic and wonderful. Let's have 1 minute, please, for everybody to make some comments to provide Isabella. You can either fill out a form or send her a text, or even use a chat function to give us some thoughts and feedback. 1 minute, Mr. Timer, please. Okay, I think that'll do. Thank you very much, Mr. Timer. Shelley is also doing a speech from Presentation Mastery, this time level 2, speech number 3, which is about introduction to Toastmasters mentoring. Can we please have her evaluator, which I believe is Leah, give the objectives for Shelley's speech, please?
It's actually Irma.
Sorry, who is it?
Irma Gusen.
Irma. Okay.
Sorry,
Irma,
I was looking for my mute button. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Shelley's speech today is to clearly define how Toastmasters envisions mentoring. And another purpose of her speech is for her to share some aspect of a previous experience as a protege. Her time would be 5 minutes on greens, 6 minutes on yellow, and 7 minutes on red. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Irma. Shelley recently moved to Calgary from Manitoba and joined Toastmasters to connect with those who enjoy speaking and sharing ideas. We've been very fortunate to have her as a member of our club and listen to some of her wonderful speeches. Follow Along is a speech about lessons learned from others along her way. Therefore, this should be a great speech for us all to engage in. So please welcome Shelley Werner. Follow along, Shelley Werner.
How can I tell you about being a protege to a mentor when I have had so many more than one mentors in my life? My career has not followed a straight line. It has had ups and downs and different chapters. I have had a mentor in each of those chapters, and I will tell you a bit about them as I go through. One thing I have learned is that being a protege is being the lucky recipient of what the mentor is going to impart upon you. There are 3 different characteristics that you can receive as a protege from your mentor. 3 types of support. Number 1 is a vision. They need to have a vision for you that you can experience. Number 2 is confidence. They need confidence in you. Number three is trust. They need to have trust in you that you are listening to their lessons and you will do it. Back long ago, when I first graduated, the big city of Toronto. I was an innocent, I didn't know anything. I was a young kid. I went to work at a big firm in a tall building in downtown Toronto. I was lucky enough to have a mentor there named Micheline Sanitrar. Micheline was a senior designer and she took me under her wing. I looked up to her and she had a vision for me. Her vision included starting her own company and I would go to work for her. So because she had a vision for me, I believed in that vision too. We went and I learned many things from Micheline. One of the things I learned was how to make 3 calls a day, to pick up the phone and to speak with confidence. As her protege, I listened to her and learned how to do it. The other thing I learned was to have a tagline at the end of all my correspondence. We look forward to working together with you to ensure the successful completion of your project. What this means is working together as a team with your client instead of leading them, working with them as a partnership. The next place I went to work was in Winnipeg. I moved back to Winnipeg and I started to work at a large architectural firm. My mentor there was a man named Joseph Neymar, and he had confidence in me, the second qualification that you need. Joseph believed that I could be the marketing manager for the company, and I started to do that job. I started to work and reach out to other clients and to tell them about our services. His confidence in me gave me confidence in myself, and I was able to contact clients, tell them about our services, and have them join. But one important thing that confidence did was teach me that if I could do this, I could do that. In other words, I could have my own company. Instead of bringing in clients for them, I could bring them in for myself. I started a company called Werner Design Associates, and that's where I got to work with the mentor that was perhaps the greatest mentor I've ever had and still have to this day. I was a protege to my mom, Branley Werner. She was a broker at Brent Business Services, and I started Werner Design to work together with her. My mom taught me some of the greatest lessons that I've ever learned. Trust is the third component of being a mentor to a protege. And I learned, ironically, something about trust. Even though she had great trust in me, and that taught me to trust myself, I learned from Branley never to trust others. She taught me that when in business, you can trust what you're going to deliver, but can you trust what you're going to get back? She taught me to always follow up, always make that extra call, always ensure that you are paying attention to what you may not receive from what you think you're going to. She taught me when planning a project to lay out all the steps, to plan to succeed, but also plan for a failure. That made me a good forecaster. That made me a good manager. A manager has to look at their team and tell them what they expect, have trust in them, but also have a backup plan. My mom also taught me a very important rule that is going to sound odd. She said, it's never a wasted trip. What that means is it's always worthwhile getting out of your office, getting down to the client, having a face-to-face, and of course in COVID times, maybe it means having a Zoom, but being in person, direct with your client will always ensure that it's going to have a good outcome. People hide behind email, they hide behind all sorts of messaging, text messaging. Never a wasted trip, to me, means it's always worthwhile to get off my butt and take that extra step to make an interpersonal connection. Now, I've talked about vision, I've talked about confidence and trust, but now I'm going to talk to you about my mentor now. I'm a protege to the amazing Irma Goosen, and how lucky I am to have her as my mentor. She adds the fourth component of mentorship to me as her protege, and that is the element of time. Irma always has time for me. If I send her a text at 11 o'clock at night going, I'm stuck in Easy Speak and I can't get out, or help, I've fallen into the black hole of Toastmasters, Irma will always put out her hand and help me out. Irma always has time for me, support for me, and most often, most importantly, confidence in me. When I say, I got a bad evaluation, she says, you can do it. You're better than that. Hang in there. I am grateful to Irma. I'm grateful to all the mentors I have had. They have made me the person I am today. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Shelley. What a great speech. I think very inspiring to us all. And there's all those lessons that you gave us, we can all connect to a number of those. So great. Mr. Timer, can we have 1 minute, please? Thank you. As you're making a couple of comments for Shelley for her speech there, just be advised that we are running a little bit behind schedule. So I would ask those that are still to speak to keep it nice and concise to allow us to have some equilibrium with respect to the time that it takes to deliver our Toastmaster meeting. We're going to jump straight forward there. That's a short 1 minute, as you can see on the screen, and we're going to go straight into our table topics evaluation. Please welcome Mrs. Tammy Frenette.
Thank you very much, Matt. I'm sorry I was late today, guys. I want to thank Ruby and Marcy right off the get-go for actually stepping up and being our table topics conductees for today, as you would say. General comments I will do for both right off the get-go. I love the way you guys actually come out of the gate with your strong openings and your complete speeches done in that less than 2 minutes. If I could have a couple of recommendations or some challenges for both of you, is I noticed that, I think it was Marcy's, that your speech was done in about 1 minute, 20 seconds. I would ask to see what we could do to try to extend it to that full 2 minutes. But you guys actually, like, you opened it very strong. You had both very strong conclusions. Loved how you tied the story together, and it was all relevant information for what is happening now and talking about it 200 years ago. Opportunity for both of you is, and this is why I kind of tied both yours together, is on vocal variety. I think you guys could have bolstered up vocal variety in a couple of spots, because I think we could have done for yours, Ruby, taken it right out of the box, saying, can you imagine those people working 7 days a week, more than 8 hours a day, 200 years ago? And maybe really amplified that as to, that is not how we want to work these days. And for yours, Marcy, as presidents, I've never heard of a quiet president, or bolster up and actually give with conviction as to, I am making this endorsement. Just to try to give it a little bit more conviction and fun. But great job. Thanks to both of you. You're always an inspiration and love to learn from you. So awesome opportunity. And back to you, Mr. Matt.
Thank you very much, Tammy. Great observations there. And I like the examples that you used to emphasize the points you were raising. Excellent. Before we go into the evaluations for our planned speeches, Mr. Timer, can we please have the timing for our 2 planned speeches?
Sure, Matt. Masood joke of the day.
No. Just Isabella and Shelley, please.
Oh, Shelley and okay. Isabella, 5 minutes, 4 seconds. Shelley, 6 minutes, 30 seconds.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Stephen. Okay, straight on to our evaluations then. Our first evaluator is Masood. Thank you very much for stepping up to the plate. Please welcome Masood Shahanagi.
Thank you very much, Matt. Isabella, I really loved your it's tough to say it, equilibrium culture. I said it finally. The little bit of glitch that I noticed at the beginning, I really loved your calm in terms of approaching to open your speech. And your speech, I loved fluency. You were very fluent in what you were trying to deliver in terms of your speech. A couple of feedback that I have, and I noticed, is that you opened your speech, you mentioned that you're trying to apply the feedbacks from the speech. You really don't need to say that. You can just continue with your speech as if it is your first time you're delivering the speech. The only thing for the second speech is to apply the feedbacks. That's it. You don't need to mention that to the audience. But I love that the thing that you said, actually, like you showed the family gathering around, sitting on the floor. That reminded me of my grandpa's house, that we were gathering with them. And oh my God, that brought a lot of memories to me. And the community-oriented culture that you have and the hospitality that you mentioned, that was fantastic. Another things that when we're saying these things is that if you could just use more vocal variety when you're happy, those happy moments, just bring it into your voice, bring it into your gesture. For that, maybe I would suggest that if you could please stand up and use more body language, that would be fantastic, helping each other. But overall, I think it was great delivery. And in your closing, maybe what I would suggest that you would urge people to do is to visit Philippines. I would love to go see there. Thank you very much, Mr. Master.
Thank you very much, Masood. Great evaluation there and some good feedback for Isabella to take away. And I think it's always useful to listen into these evaluations so you can also take away those points that are being raised, because I think they're all reflective to us all. Let's move straight on to our second evaluator, which is Irma, giving an evaluation on Shelley's speech. Please welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. As we are running out of time, this will be a quick one. Shelley excelled in explaining what mentorship means and how her examples could also be used within Toastmasters. I felt that the speech, the eloquence, everything of that was great. However, Shell, you need to slow down. You need to breathe. Because if you are so fast, you cannot change the tone of your voice as much as you could have. So I think that is something that you need to have, you know, those little timers on the pianos that says tick tock, maybe work with that. Who knows? Okay. Another thing I would suggest is do not use all the company names, because you were speaking so fast. It is a little bit difficult to understand what you were saying because of that. So just go from this company. You know, I was at my first company, then I was with my mom, and I could see the love that you have for your mom. That was great. Challenge-wise, I would suggest that you start following along, shadowing another mentor, so that you can start getting used to how it's being done and what's happening, because you are moving on your way to become a great mentor. Thank you very much for your speech today, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Irma. Some good comments and feedback there. And that relationship between a mentor and a mentee is important to get those points across and understood. So great feedback. We're going to move into our evaluation session now. I'm not quite sure who our general evaluator is. Who is our general evaluator? Masood. Okay, please welcome.
I have another hat. Well, I'm going to keep this very short because we are very behind. So I'm not going to ask for the another portion of the timing report. I just asked Marcy, please provide us with grammarian and all counter report.
The purpose of the all counter is to let us know how many filler words we are using as we proceed. And today, one of the things, Masood, you greatly exceeded the number of ahs, ums, and so's. Ben, you had 3 total. Matt, most unusually, you had 3 filler words. Helen, you also exceeded, but not quite as much as some of our other people did. And Irma, I'm very surprised, but you had 3 so's. Reporting on the grammar report, the primary thing that I noticed there is that a number of us are using run-on sentences. We connect our sentences with the word and. This is something that we need to eliminate, stop and take a breath, create a new sentence. Thank you, Master.
Thank you very much, Marcy. Irma, could you please provide us with a brief report on what you have noticed in your report?
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. I feel today and Mr. General Evaluator, sorry. I feel that people today, they did respect the chat when the speakers were on. Thank you very much for muting your mics. If a speaker wanted someone to show their faces, they can ask and we can all just show our faces. Sometimes it's easier for some speakers to do so. I couldn't get hold of our visitor today. Kurt, at first the mic wasn't muted. I appreciate that now the sound has been muted. Thank you very much for that. Apart from that, everyone did amazing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Irma. Now, as general evaluator, one thing I've noticed is that although we started on time, we kind of running behind. However, now we are back again on track. One thing I think would be a great practice that we do is hopefully we can generate this culture of confirming our roles and attendance ahead of the time, that we can have quite a bit of a time to assign the roles if we need to replace the person. This would be a practice if we can provide that. And other than that, I think it was a great meeting. Many people did not show or had to decline because of situations. It's a new season. I know it's back to school, lots of challenges. However, now we are, I have to thank everybody that took the last minute roles and many roles for one person. I'm going to change my hat from general evaluator to chairperson, and I would like to ask Mr. Kurt, I think if you have any comments, we would be happy to hear your comments.
You need to unmute. Kurt, please unmute. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, weird. I wasn't muted, but I don't know why the sound wasn't coming through. It was a headset issue, I think. So apologize for that. And I apologize earlier. I was switching between a car and a headset, so that's probably why I ended up being unmuted for a while. No, I think that you guys have done a good job of listening to a couple of these over the last year. And with the move to online, you have a good equilibrium of maintaining your format while dealing with the challenges of that. I'm glad no one's measuring my grammar. And yeah, no, I love the enthusiasm of the speakers. For the first speech, or the first main speech, I know it was incorporating feedback from a previous speech. I don't know if I missed it. Was there kind of a high-level summary of what that feedback was? As someone that doesn't listen every time, that would be useful to kind of know what they were trying to focus on. But other than that, like Shelley and Isabella, you did a great job explaining your topics, and yeah, no, I enjoyed listening.
Thank you very much, Kurt, for your wonderful feedback. Now, if we have any announcements, you have covered.
Yes, I do, Masood.
Yes. Yes.
I will have my first official visit to write my area director report next Tuesday. So be aware of that. And Wednesday night, the executive is invited. It's our first official council meeting for the area. And remember, for DCP points, it is very good to have your representative there, and we can all learn quite a lot. Another thing, on Saturday, our president and our VP education, you are required to be at the district executive committee council meeting so that you can cast your votes on decisions that the district wanted to make. So if anyone has any questions, you can email me or call me and we can talk about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Irma. Any other announcements? I have two tentative meetings we have set up with Helen for our contest, potential contests, and that's one is October 20th and November 3rd. These are, of course, tentative, pending on Saturday. We will see what gets voted to be there as our contests. Well, if there's no more announcements, I would like to adjourn this meeting. Thank you very much for your attendance and for the responsibility you took in this meeting. Have a great week. And Ruby will be the next chair.
Thanks. Have a great week, everybody. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye. Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Have a great week.
Matt, do you have 2 minutes? Hello, Matt. Matt is on mute. Oh. Okay, I need help with next meeting as a chair, so I will connect. Fine. Matt, are you on this meeting? Okay.